Depending on what state you're in, obviously there's different regulations everywhere, but my first step is calling the city or state to make sure that that house that I have is able to do what I'm trying to do, depending on what type of group home you're doing. There's hundreds of different kinds of group homes that you can do. So that's my first move, and then I'm researching in the area of what, when I get a house, I don't just say, hey, this is going to be a sober living. We do a market analysis and a research of the area, and we call other local organizations to see what the need is in that area, see if there's a waiting list for a certain demographic, and where we can be the best use, where we can make the most impact. And once based on that research that we do is what we're going to make that house. So it depends on what is the need in that area. And again, if you just want to get started with your 10,000, technically you don't have to get your houses licensed because of the Fair Housing Acts, but you still might get bothered by the city and state, so you definitely want to do it right if you don't want all of that coming at you. But again, fair housing laws, you are allowed to. But you can get I got my first sober living home up and going it took $5,000 for the deposit and first month's rent, and it took $1,000 to completely furnish it with used stuff. So I got my first house started with $6,000. So there is a possibility, depending on what your risk tolerance is, you can definitely start a sober living or some type of group home with $11,000. But I do suggest people to always have anywhere from 3 to 6 months of overhead in case oh shit happens. And again, it's based on your risk tolerance. I'm willing to risk my last penny on anything that I am involved in. So my risk tolerance, it's not there. I just risk it all. So the question is, now that I have the house established, where do I find the clients, or what is something that is overlooked a lot of the times? Obviously, depending on what your demographic is, you want to reach out to nonprofits. So let's say we're housing the homeless. You want to reach out to other nonprofits that their demographic and what they try to help is the homeless, people that are trying to find housing, other nonprofits trying to find housing for people, going to churches, trying to see if they have any type of housing or any type of funding that they can use, see if they have any people that they can send to you, reaching out to hospitals, institutions, the jail system, the prison systems, freaking detox facilities, intensive outpatient programmings, shelters. There's a ton of places that you can go look for these individuals on the street. Just freaking go out there in them streets and start talking to people. But there's a lot of different, depending on which direction you want to go, there's a lot of places you can find people.